Welcome to the Digital Den. I'm your host today, Luke Erhardt, and today we have a special guest, Spencer County Middle School's principal, Mr. Mercer. Let's get it from Mr. Mercer. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I feel like I should be interviewing you right now, like this is
I
Sports
don't know
Center and
about
talking
that.
about your last game.
No, this is all about you. So how you doing, Mr. Mercer?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's been an awesome start to the school year.
It's awesome.
Love getting out and watching some of the extracurricular stuff that's going on. Our football team at the high school and Coach Marksberry started out a little slow, but it was fun seeing them get going and make a regional championship for only the second time in school history. And then my buddy John Howie got a big win against Assumption the other night, came out, hit a bunch of threes in the first quarter. Everybody was excited about that. And Coach Burns and you guys are rocking and rolling right now. So it's exciting for our community. It's a good time for everyone.
Yep, the excitement never stops going, huh?
It never does.
All right, so you can tell us a little bit about yourself, about who you are, and
Yes, sir. Graduated high school from a little place called Phelps, Kentucky. It's right on the Virginia border. In 1996, I know you guys can't tell from the accent that I come from the mountains, but graduated from UPike in 2000, played a little ball there, and then got all my post-grad work from Morehead State University, got in admin, and been doing the education thing for 24 years. Been in admin for about 20 and been here in Taylorsville for about 10.
wow. So I was going to ask you about how long you've been in education, but you kind of went over it there.
Yeah.
So next, could you tell us a little bit how you got into the position of being the principal at the middle school?
Yeah. I come from a family of educators. My grandfather was a coal miner in eastern Kentucky, and my father was a principal. My mother was a guidance counselor. So it's kind of the family business. Grew up around it. It's all I've known. I, like a lot of people that's in Taylorsville right now and in Spencer County, found this little slice of heaven outside of Louisville. Started looking for opportunities for the family, and then you start narrowing that down to what type of education you want your children to get, and the Spencer County school system is top notch. So by process of elimination, we kind of found our way here and fell in love with it, and been here ever since.
Yeah, it's awesome. So you said you came from a line of educators. Did you grow up knowing you were going to be an educator, or is it just something that, like, hey, I would kind of like to do this later, and when you're trying to find a career?
No, it's a good question. Actually, when I was your guys' age and I had all my buddies, they all made fun of me and would joke around and say, yeah, you're going to be a principal just like your dad. And the last thing that I had planned on earth was to go into education, but the deal was at my house was you can get a major in anything you want to get in, but education has to be a plan B. You have to have a backup plan. So once I got in college and started majoring in accounting and figured that wasn't the most exciting world that I could find. I like numbers, but I don't like them that much. So I kind of fell back on plan B, and then got into leadership, and I've loved it.
Yeah. Well, it definitely worked out for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So now let's talk about you for a few minutes. Do you have, like, any hobbies, any things you do outside of school?
I do. I like to run. I like to golf. I like to read. But I have 3 daughters, so family is really important to me. I have a fiance, Leah. We're getting married this summer.
Congratulations.
She has. Thank you. We're excited. She has 3 little ones, the O's. Oliver, Olivia, and Owen. I have 3 daughters. They're the A's, Alexis, Addison, and Ashton. So we kind of joke around about the A's and O's, and that kind of dominates our schedule right now. They all participate in different athletics. So even on weekends, we have 2-3 events to hit. So it's fun. It's fun.
Definitely staying busy.
Stays very, very, very busy. Between the school schedule, Leah's schedule, and our kids' schedule, that pretty much. I'm like most parents. I'm just trying to figure out how to make it through the next day, get through practices, and do it again.
Yeah, well, there you go. So how are things going at the middle school?
Awesome. Yes. Test scores are back. That's a major positive for us. Pre-COVID, we were a top 25 middle school in the state. There's about 318 schools. We take a lot of pride in being in the top 25. Of the state of Kentucky pre-COVID, and then COVID occurred. Post-COVID was tough.
Yeah.
This year we passed up 160 schools. We're in the top 50.
Wow.
out of 318, 84th percentile, and that's something that we look forward to continuing and building upon.
Yeah.
We've not gotten back to where we want to be as far as where we stack up in the state, but we're really proud of the progress and the process.
Yeah, it's awesome to make that comeback. I was doing my research, and we heard that the SCMS academic team won their district champions. So you tell us a little bit about that team. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, the A-team at our place is something that means a lot to me. Our coach, Chad Collins, most of you guys probably had Chad in class. He's an amazing teacher. He assembled just a really strong staff for the A-team years ago. He has Miss Parnell, Miss Gross, Miss Hinton. He has some of the best educators you could find. And our A-team is really, really competitive over the years. 8 straight Governor Cups. And just this past weekend, we finished first place against some different teams, some private schools in Jefferson and surrounding areas in the 6th grade showcase. So we're really excited about the future of the academic team as well.
It's definitely exciting for that. Now I played basketball at the middle school for a year. Now I'm playing at the high school.
Yeah, we need you back. We could use a few more years. Like
I
could work on some NIL
honest,
money and get you back down
that'd
there.
be nice,
We'll get you some sponsorship.
Yeah, well, just watching and keeping up with it. Can you tell us a little bit about the sports at the middle school and like how they're going so far?
Yeah, absolutely. First thing, I have to thank our coaches. They're just so dedicated. They're out so late every night. People don't see it. 11, 12 o'clock at night. Our athletic director, Noel, Scott Noel, Garrett Shelburne, those guys, they help make the whole thing go. But our coaches kind of set the tone. Our parents support. They're very supportive. But our kids, they've been amazing this year. Our football team had an undefeated conference championship for the first time in a few years. So football's looking to continue to contribute to what Coach Mark Sperry and the staff's doing here. Our girls basketball team had a good year. Archery just finished up their first tournament this weekend and finished first place overall. And I think Coach Pooler told me that they were preseason top 10. And football and dance both won first place in regionals in their competition respectively, so they're preparing for state. So a lot of positive things going on. Yeah, really excited and proud of our people.
A lot of success over there in the middle school, it sounds like.
Yeah, good people and good support from our community.
Yeah, that's awesome. So looking back, we're almost halfway through the school year. What exciting things have happened in the school year so far?
A lot of excitement. I'll just start from this weekend and work backwards for a minute, if you don't care.
Yeah,
Winterfest is our kind of fall festival in the winter. Elementaries tend to do the fall festivals in the fall and spring flings in the spring, and we try to not conflict with other schools and what they have going on. So we kind of come up with Winterfest for the middle school. We needed a way to finance and fund our PBIS rewards program, where we do the school store on Fridays. We do a big giveaway at the end of the year. We do grizzly grouse celebrations, pizza, and ice cream and things. So Winterfest Friday went off without a hitch. Aaron Demian, Miss Demian, and our staff raised over $20,000 for that program.
Wow.
It's only about 5 hours on Friday, but it takes us about 5 months of planning. We had about 160 or 165 donations from the community.
Wow.
Santa stopped by for a minute for the little ones, so we had a good evening Friday. It's a nice event. Dodgeball tournament gets competitive. You boys, you probably remember a few of those dodgeball tournaments from middle school, but working backwards, we have a good relationship with our PTSO, so they really help our school year go off well. We're focused on academics and deal with athletics, and they kind of get into some of the fun things. They've had powder puff events for our kids, different types of dances, glow dances, and celebrations. So we try to make it fun. We work hard, and then we try to take a second and acknowledge some of the celebrations that we have going on, let people know they're doing well.
Yeah, it's definitely a bunch of exciting stuff. I mean, it sounds like things don't stop at the middle school, really.
No. Every Friday we recognize our Grizzly heroes and try to push that out on social media. That's a couple kids that are selected per team, per grade. We're just always trying to figure out a way to recognize people
Yeah.
that's going far and beyond and helping us set the bar.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so now we went back and looked back at the school year so far. Is there anything exciting coming up in the second half of the school year already planned?
Well, our school-wide on-demand is not exciting. That's coming up, so that doesn't fall into that category. MAP testing's been pushed to January. I don't think that would fall into the exciting category, but
Stuff you got to do.
we do every year have an initiative that started 8 years ago with Miss Gabbard, our media specialist, and it's called One Book, One School. We select one book for every kid in the building to read. Our teachers go through it with them, and we bring the author in at the end to speak to the kids to make it more of a real world connection. And we try to find something, a book that's more relevant, what's going on in middle school world. You know, those are some crazy years.
Yeah.
So that's kind of exciting for us. We have 750 kids. We have 100 staff. So it's neat when we can get everybody on the same page every now and then for one common focus for kids.
Yeah. So now we're going to go a little bit about the behavior at the middle school. Have you had any trouble with behavior, or so far pretty good? Or
It's been amazing.
That's awesome.
I talked a little bit about our expectations pre-COVID and returning back from COVID 3 years ago. I don't think anyone in the nation knew what to expect, especially in the state and here in Spencer. There wasn't a handbook on how to handle a global pandemic. But when we came back, we quickly realized that more than instruction, we needed to get back to the fundamentals of school, and that started with behavior. And it has drastically improved over the last 3 years. Last year was a much better year. It was a good year as far as behavior, and I think our scores indicate and reflect that. Our PBIS rewards program really recognizes kids for doing things that we ask them to do, but sometimes they don't get recognized for. Our 3 Ps are the key to everything that we do. You got to be present, you've got to be participating, and you got to be positive. You got to be prepared. So if you come in every day and do that, you're going to get a chance to be rewarded and recognized. So this year, we're really seeing the benefits from that investment the summer before last. We really put a lot of time in kind of going back and resetting. And last year we seen it. We took a step, and this year it is better than expected. I think we're ahead of where we realistically could have thought we may have been a couple years ago. Our thing at the middle school has been, let's beat them back. You know, we felt like we had the foundation in place post-COVID to beat other schools back to that top of the mountain, and I feel like that we're a little ahead of where we had planned in doing so.
yeah, it definitely sounds like y'all had a good plan set, and it looks like it's working out for you pretty well.
Yeah, well, it all comes down to the teachers and the kids. Kids allow us to do this. The students buy in, and they've really stepped up. Our 8th graders this year are a great group of leaders. We talk to them a lot about leadership and how other people are watching. And our 6th and 7th grade come in after a couple years of normal educational process rather than not having school for 2 years. So I feel like everyone's getting back in the groove.
Yeah. So we've heard a lot about the success at the middle school going on so far with these students and sports and academics and stuff. So how are you getting them ready for high school?
Yeah, it's a small community, so we hear about all the amazing things that go on at the high school. I've felt for years like high schools in general do an exceptional job as far as giving kids opportunities for post-secondary education and beyond. And I've always thought that the middle school should do something to contribute and help begin that process. So I'm excited that Dr. Foster, our new superintendent, came in. One of the things that we talked about in the main beginning was areas that I felt like we could get better as a school or as a district, and college career readiness is definitely one of those areas, if not the area, that I feel like we need to give more of a priority to. So it's exciting. We're working right now, Dr. Foster and I and a few people at our school, pre-planning some Paxton Patterson labs that are college career modules. There'll be 32 modules set up in 4 different areas for every single middle school kid to get an opportunity to experience wiring a house, barber school, culinary, engineering. What our goal is at the middle school moving forward after this year is to introduce a variety and exploratory opportunities for kids so that you may not know what you do want to do going into high school, but you have an idea of a few things that you know you don't want to do. If we can help you eliminate things and take things off the table, then it will help ninth graders coming in when they need to select a pathway, narrow that down and make a more educated decision. So we just want to contribute and assist and put more of an enhancement towards what's occurring already at the high school level.
Yeah, and you use the term college and career ready. You hear that a lot at the high school.
Yeah.
So it's always good to start early, because I started off in COVID when things were all kind of rambled around to where some of us didn't really get the clear picture on which pathway you want to go into and stuff like that. It was just trying to get ready. So it's definitely important to be college and career ready start early.
Yes, sir. My oldest daughter, Alexis, who graduated from Spencer County High School, played for Coach Howie. She's going into education. And a question I ask myself is, should I have had her go into a different area and then get a master's in education? That way you can kill kind of two birds with one stone. So I'm really interested and really intrigued with digging in at the middle school level and helping prepare our kids so that when they graduate high school, maybe they have that question answered rather than Alexis and I still wondering what the answer is.
Yeah, exactly. So you've given a lot of credit to other people besides yourself, like your staff. And if you don't mind, could you tell us a little bit about your staff and if there's any like new staff hires or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know as well as I do, it takes the team. You guys are highly successful because you're extraordinary individually, but you also have some amazing teammates that go along with you. I seen Jack Armstrong go baseline and jam one the other night.
I'm sure a lot of people saw that.
Going viral. So you're number one in the region right now, in the 8th region. So kudos to you guys, and that's a team effort. So yeah, we have some amazing people. But really, to me, when I think about our staff, I think about our custodians that are shorthanded. They have people call in because of sickness that happens. I think about our IAs that are debating on whether they can work full time and make enough money to make ends meet, or if they should sub and get a second job. I think about our bus drivers, our cooks. Our cooks keep me alive on 16-hour days, and there's plenty of them. They really take care of our kids that may or may not have the money to get food. All those things allow us to teach kids. I think sometimes we think about staff and we think about teachers and learning, but there's so many other things that go into that allows us opportunity to teach. We have some new teachers that are very strong and we're very blessed to have. There is a teacher shortage, and it is real. We are very blessed in Spencer County to be able to select some of the very best that do not any longer want to work in Jefferson or surrounding districts, where we are lucky that people look at our school system and say, you know what, that's a county school system, but it has a private school or an independent organizational structure, and I like that. So we get to be selective when other people are having a tough time even finding people. We hired a new SRO this year. We have SRO on every campus. That's something that is new for Spencer County, and I know as a parent, I appreciate that, knowing that Officer Ed's here at the high school with Addison, and that these guys are around. And Officer Lee Rawlings has done a tremendous job for us. We hired 2 Edmondsons, Matt Edmondson and his wife Kendall. They teach social studies and science at our place. We hired them from Shelby County. We hired a Miss Fleming from Jefferson County in 8th grade. We hired Miss Hovecamp. She taught 28 years at Assumption math, so we were lucky to steal her from them and get her into 6th grade math. So we've added some really nice pieces. Have a strong admin team. Rhonda Cox in instructional coaching. She's been around for 25 years. She's been in multiple roles. Alicia Dunaway's kind of new. Not really. We hired her at the middle school. Then she came to the high school as a guidance counselor and done a great job here. And then she came back and she's our guidance counselor now. Miss Demian's our other guidance counselor. Our other AP and admin. And Tammy Mormon is our mental health specialist. So we have some strong faculty, staff, and support staff that help us accomplish what we do.
Yeah, and like you said, them trying to get out of Louisville. I know Louisville's having a lot of trouble right now, and like I came from Louisville, and so you kind of see the blessing of having Spencer County and like schools like this and just counties like this, really. So it is a blessing to be able to come here and work here, and go to school here compared to like those Louisville schools that are having a lot of trouble right now.
It really is. It's just different. It's just different. I graduated from a high school, and we were one of 5 high schools in a district, and it was so competitive within the county. And Jefferson's no different. You have several dozens of high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools, and I think sometimes it's easy to get lost in that shuffle. Whereas here we have one high school, one middle, and a couple elementaries. We just did our applications, and I'm sure people will be excited to when our MVP candidates are named. That's something special in Spencer County where students can get recognized, and those posters go up all over our community. And that's just one example of something very special that a small town has that I don't think you can get other places.
Yeah, and we've heard that a lot about people loving that there's one high school, so everybody roots for the same high school, and it's like all togetherness kind of thing, which is awesome. So yeah,
there's some talk last year and year before about maybe building another middle school because Spencer County is a destination,
growing big time
location. This is a place where even if we get a lot of enrollees at the middle school over the last decade, parents that have taken jobs in Jefferson County, their realtor tells them, be careful about what school you end up at because it's flipping a quarter. You don't know where you're going to end up. So they start looking at their options for school. It's private school, which is very expensive in Jefferson. Oldham County, which is full, and it's kind of expensive to live. Shelby's kind of full. And then by process of elimination, you find your way to Spencer, this nice, neat little private school type situation. And people live here and they drive to Jefferson, and our kids stay for GBB and they get done about 5:30 when work's over. So it works out nice for us, and the small town feel is definitely, I think, a recipe for success.
Yeah, it is awesome. All right, so here we go. We talked about you getting kids ready for high school. Now let's back it on up to things you can tell kids that are about to come into middle school, or like their parents who might be a little worried, because I know I was, worried about going into middle school and
middle school building. It's a little scary. Those transition years from 5th to 6th, from 8th to 9th. You can remember both those years. 8th to 9th may not be as bad, but it's still a transition. It's different. You're going to a new building. It's bigger. There's more people. You go from our elementary schools, especially if you're at TES and it's a smaller elementary school, to a middle school where everyone's together, 750 kids, 7 periods for the first time, 7 teachers. Here's your Chromebook, good luck. And that can be a little overwhelming for kids. So I encourage parents to attend our spring parent meeting. We will have that in April. We will educate parents on the different educational tracks that we have, traditional or summit. One of the big things for us is Boost Camp. That is usually the last week of July. You guys probably remember going to Boost. The best thing Boost does for us is it allows our all fifth graders, TES and SES, to start coming together. We do some team building activities, some real culture building. We start to build a rapport with kids in the summer before the 6th grade year. We go ahead and give them their schedules. We introduce them to their teachers. They see where those classrooms are, what hallways they'll be on, the restrooms, cafeteria, so that day one is not as new and overwhelming. It doesn't seem as daunting. I tell people that kids usually, 6th graders, usually within the first couple weeks, get used to middle school, and parents, it takes a couple months because you worry about everything as a mom and as a dad. But the kids, they tend to get in there, and they kind of like the excitement of every 40, 50 minutes of moving. That's different for them. So that's one of the things that I would encourage people to do is hit our spring parent meeting, our boost camp, and check out scmsgrizzlies.com. I do a weekly update on there on our website each Friday or over the weekend. Just depends on what we have going on. But a lot of good information there. Our website, you can click on 6th grade, see all of your 6th grade teachers for next year already. You can see their staff pages and see what our big rocks are for the upcoming week. So just to become more acclimated, you can check out our site.
Yeah, I think that definitely help the new students and parents. So before we end here, is there anything you'd like to tell the viewers before we end?
I just want to thank everyone, the support that this community gives. You guys, all, you know, every time you show up and the bright lights come on, the thing that makes that special is the gym's full. Mm-hmm. And you have Bo Bruner, Big Time Bo, down there, videoing the games, and he's publicizing and promoting our community, and the amount of support. You drive through Taylorsville and you don't see a tremendous amount of businesses, but from someone that's put on a community-wide event for a decade now, I can tell you there's more support here than there are most places. So it's a special place. I'd just like to say thank you and wish everybody a Merry Christmas. We have the holidays coming up, a few days. I think we're counting them down at the middle school. We have 7. So after 7 days, we're going to take a couple weeks off and re-energize. But more than anything, I want to wish you guys good luck.
Thank you.
You make us proud. You represent us with class. Keep winning those games.
Yes,
and
sir.
Look forward to seeing you guys in Rupp Arena.
Yeah, that's the plan. Lord wills.
And Coach Howard.
All right, so thank you for joining us on the
Absolutely,
show today. It's been a
Luke,
pleasure.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for
guys.
coming on. For all those who are viewing, don't forget to subscribe at SCHS Digital Den and follow us on Instagram at digitalden.schs. That's all from here, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.